Om Shrimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmala Kritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhirbhavatu Me Sada Yatpadambhoruhadhyana Vidhvasta Sheshakalmashah Vastutamupayato Yamuneyam Namamitam Yo Nityamachyutapadambuja Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmadguror Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindhoho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye. Offering my pranamams to everybody assembled here. We'll start the next session. Last time we saw the summary of chapter 17, which is the Geetaartha Sangraha shloka number 21, which said, Ashastram asuram kritsnam shastriyam gunatah prathak lakshanam shastra siddhasya tridha saptada shodhitam. So in last session, Sri Srinath had asked a question regarding the Om, Tat and Sat. So I will discuss that thing in the next session, but today we'll go directly to chapter 18. So chapter 18, the Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, is the last chapter and it is the biggest chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. It has 78 shlokas. So what we thought is we'll do it in two sessions. First session we'll do the first half and the second session we'll do the second half. So Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, the yoga of liberation. And for that the Geetaartha Sangraha shloka is shloka number 22 by Swami Yamunacharya, which is Ishvare kartrata buddhihi sattvopadeyatanti me svakarma parinamascha shastra sarartha uchyate. Ishvare kartrata buddhis sattvopadeyatanti me svakarma parinamascha shastra sarartha uchyate. So what is the meaning of this shloka? We'll see. Ishvare kartrata buddhihi. So Ishvara, that is Bhagavan, is the pradhana karta, is the main karta. The buddhi for all the activities are done by Bhagavan himself. Buddhi, the buddhi, that all activities are done by Bhagavan only. That is Ishvare Kartrata Buddhi. So if Bhagavan is doing everything, then what am I doing? The question will come. For that we'll see the answer. That is answered in this particular, addressed in this particular chapter. Ishvare Kartrata Buddhi. Then Sattva Upadeyata. Among the three gunas, only Sattva Guna is to be pursued. The Rajas and Tamo Gunas are to be given up. That is the second one. Sattva Upadeyata. Third one is Swakarma Parinamaha. What is the meaning of this? This is by performing one's Laukika, Vaidika Karma, Kartavya Karma means worldly duties, spiritual duties, and also all other ordained duties which are to be done as Bhagavat Aradhana Rupa. That means it is all a worship of the Lord. So everything, if you see in Bangalore, there is the legislature building is there, Vidhana Sauda. On the walls of the Vidhana Sauda, it is written, government work is God's work. So that can be to be translated and to say that every work is God's work. Even office work is God's work. Household work is also God's work. Laukika activities, Vaidika activities, and all Kartavya activities are all God's work. So that is the thing. Are all performed for the Bhagavad Aradhana Rupa. It's all God's worship. It's not work. It's not just work. It's worship of the Lord. So then one can get Bhagavad Prapti. One can attain Bhagavan. Then Shastra Sarartha, that Bhakti and Prapatti are the essence of this Gita Shastram. Antime Uchyate are told in the last chapter. The last chapter presents the mental state required for ascribing the agency to Bhagavan, necessity for cultivating Sattva Guna, spiritual culmination of discharging one's duty, and Bhakti Yoga and Prapatti, which form the essence of Gita Shastram. Now, Swami Deshikan has given a detailed Geetaartha, in the Geetaartha Sangraha Raksha, he has given a detailed commentary, as we can see here. So, I will not read the whole commentary, but two things I want to tell you. In the first half of this, he tells about the Gita Bhashya by Yamunacharya for the shlokas 14 and 15. And in the second half, he tells about the shlokas 64, 65, 66. We'll look at the Bhashya of Ramanujacharya in the next session for those things. So we'll look at the first part, that is Parat Tachrutehe, and the second sutra which is shown here. So we'll look at directly at the Bhashya of Ramanujacharya for this particular shloka. So so what is my duty? What is my doership? What is my enjoyership? What is my knowledge? If everything is ascribed to Bhagavan, that question comes. So is there the question about free will, which is most discussed in today's world, free will versus destiny? That question gets addressed in this particular shlokas. So Krishna tells in shloka 14 and 15 that Adhishthanam tatha karta karanancha prathag vidham vividhascha prathak cheshtaha daivan chaivatra panchamam. And second, in the 15th one, he says, Shariravang manobhiryat karma prarabhate naraha nyayam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetavaha. So what is the meaning? We'll see. Adhishthanam. He says that there are 5 causes of action. And what are they? Adhishthanam is the body. Karta is the doer, which is the Jivatman. Then Prithagvidam Karanamcha. And the different sense organs. Vividhacha Prathak Cheshtaha. The different functions of prana. That is Vayu, which exists as prana, apana, and so on. Atra. Among them, which are the causes of action. Panchamam Daivancha. And the 5th being Paramatman is what Krishna is telling. So there are 5 causes told here. Pancha ete, all these 5, nyayam va viparitam va, in accordance to the Shastras, or doing what is prohibited, like murder and so on. Yat karma, whatever karma a man starts with the body, not just by action, by body, but body, speech and mind. So for that karma, these are the 5 causes, is what Krishna tells. So, Adhishtanam, Karta, Karanam, till Vividha Prathak Cheshtaha, Daivam. These are the 5 causes for any action which happens in this world. Now we look at the Bhashya. Nyaye means Shastra Siddhe, Viparite means Pratisiddhe va sarvasmin karmani sharire vachike manase cha pancha ete hetavaha. So 5 are the 5 causes are there. What are they? In all acts which are either nyaya, means as per what is ordained in the Shastra, or viparita, what is prohibited in the Shastras, all acts performed with sharire, vachike, manase, body or speech or mind. These are the 5 causes. Even a thought which arises in my mind, these are the 5 causes, is what is told. For any good thought or a bad thought, for a good speech or a bad speech, or for a good action or a bad action. Adhishthanam is the shariram. Why is it called Adhishthanam? It is Adhishtiyate Jivatmana iti Mahabhuta Sanghata Rupam Shariram Adhishthanam. So, first is Adhisthana, which is the Sharira or the body. It is presided over by Adhishtiyate Jivatmana. It is presided over by the Jivatman. The Jivatman is the presiding power in this whole Sharira. And that's why Shariram is the Mahabhuta Sanghata Rupam. It's the conglomeration of the 5 elements, that is Prithvi, the earth, the water, and the fire, and the wind and the ether. So this is the first aspect. Without Sharira, no action can be done. At least worldly action cannot be done. So the Sharira is said to be Adhisthana. It is the locus, it is the host of all the actions. Next is Karta. The Karta, the doer, is the Jivatman here. So, Jivatma. Asya Jivatmanah Jnatritvancha Jnata Eva. For the Brahma Sutra, Karta Shastrarthatvat iti cha Sutra Upapaditam. The knowership and the doership, the Jnatritva and the Kartritva of the Jivatman are established in the Brahma Sutras. The Jivatman is the knower for the same reason as told in the Shrutis. So, Karta Shastra Artha Vatvat. So, if you are listening to Alvar Swami's Sri Bhashyam lecture, then those sutras would all have been discussed there. And Jivatman is a doer because Shastra is purposeful. Karta Shastra Arthavatvat. So Jivatman is the second part. Next comes Karanam cha Prathak Vidham. Vak, Pani, Padadi Panchakam, Samanaskam Karmendriyam. All the Karmendriyas, the Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu and Upastha, Samanaskam along with the mind. The next is Karanam, means the 5 organs of action along with mind. Then Prathak Vidham. Karma Nishpattau, Prathak Vyaparam means they support different functions of the performance of any karma. So what are they? Vividha, these support, see, for example, whatever can be done with the mouth, the speech cannot be done with the hand, or whatever is done with the hand cannot be done with the feet, like that. So these are 5 different actions. Now, Vividha Prathak Cheshtaha. Cheshta Shabdena Panchama Vayuhu Abhidhiyate Tad Vritti Vachina. The word Cheshta means functions of Vayu, and by that the Vayu which is of 5 forms. What are they? They are the Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. Sharira Indriya Dharakasya Pranapanadi Bheda Bhinnasya Vayoha Panchatmanaha Vividha cha Cheshtaha Vividha Vrittihi. So Vividha means, Vividha Cheshta means Vayu which supports the body, the sense organs. Vayu which exists in distinct forms like Prana, Apana, etc. So the functions of the Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana are discussed more at length in the Prashnopanishad, where he tells that the Garhapatya Agni is nothing but the Apana, and along with the Dakshina Agni and the Ahavaniya. So these are the main fires, is what he tells, what it says. And even when the body is asleep, in the state of dreamless sleep, the fire of prana is always burning, is what the Upanishad says. So, Daivam cha atra panchamam. Atra karma hetu kalape daivam panchamam. Atra means in the collectivity of causes. The 5th is Daiva, that is the divine, that is the God. Now there are further more explanations given in the Bhashya, which Swami Vedanta Deshikar also quotes. Paramatma antaryami karma nishpattau pradhana hetuhu iti arthaha. Daiva means Paramatman, who is the inner controller or antaryami, the prime cause in the fulfillment of karma. This is the meaning. Uktam hi sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha matta smritir jnanam apohanancha. This is told in chapter 15, where I am responsible. Krishna says that I am responsible for remembrance, knowledge, and loss of knowledge, means forgetfulness. Matta smritir jnanam apohanancha is what he says. Suppose somebody flunks in the interview, then for that also Krishna is the cause, because he made the person lose the memory at the time of the interview. Or suppose somebody remembers something very well in writing the exam, for that also Lord is the cause. Vakshyati cha Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshayarjuna tishtati. What he will tell further is, Ishvara is sitting, the Lord is sitting in the heart of all beings. What is he doing? He is Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. He is spinning all the beings with his maya as though they are mounted on a wheel. Yantrarudhani iva, like that, as though. So, Paramatma ayattam cha jivatmana kartratvam parattu tachrutehe iti upapaditam. The fact that the doership of the jivatman is under the control of Paramatman is established in the sutra. The doership of the jivatman is given by Paramatman, because Shruti says like this, Parattu tat shrutehe. The Vedas say like that. So, the controllership of the jivatman is in the hands of Paramatman. So, the Jivatman is controlled by Paramatman. Nanu evam Paramatma ayatte Jivatmana kartratve Jivatma karmani aniyojyo bhavati. Then there comes one objection. An objection will come in the sense, if this is so, if the entire controlling of the Jivatman is in the hands of Paramatman, then if the doership of Jivatman is dependent on Paramatman, it would not be possible for Shastras to impose any responsibility of performance of karma on Jivatman. So what is the purpose of Shastra telling that you have to do this and you should not do that, when entire thing of Jivatman is under control of Paramatman? There's no need for any Shastra at all. So that gets addressed here. Iti vividha nisheda shastrani anarthakani syuhu. So then the Shastras which contain injunctions and prohibitions would become meaningless. Idamapi chodyam sutrakarena eva parihritam. This objection is also raised by the Sutrakara, Badarayana himself, as he says, Krita prayatna apekshastu vihita pratishidda pratishidha vayarthadibhyaha, means Paramapurusha expects effort on the part of Jivatman, because Shastra, which imposes injunctions and prohibitions, should not become purposeless. So Paramatma expects an effort on part of the Jivatman. So for example, in this particular session, we are sitting in this session studying the 18th chapter. We could have gone as well and seen a movie. So, but we have put effort to sit here. So, which means that Paramatma expects us to put effort to do what is told in the Shastras. So, yeta duktam bhavati. So, this is a very standard statement by Swami Ramanujacharya, Bhashyakarar, in the Bhashya. Etaduktam bhavati means it is used in two cases. He uses it to summarize whatever is told elaborately in the earlier case. In one case, he tells it to summarize that one, or else he also tells it to elaborate something which has been told in very brief in the other place. So etaduktam bhavati paramatmana dattaihi tadadharaihi cha karana kalevaradivihi tad ahita shakti bhihi, with the body, sense, organs and others which are given by Paramatman and which are supported by Paramatman, which have the capabilities given by Paramatman only. Swayancha jivatma tad adharaha tad ahita shakti san. Even the Jivatman who has him as a support and being endowed with the powers given by Paramatman, karma nishpattaye svechaya, in order to perform karma out of his free will, karanadyadhisthana akaram prayatnam cha arapate, will begin to engage in action, controlling the senses and other that are the adhisthana or locus to him. So Jivatman, with the powers given by Paramatman, using the indriyas, using the sense organs, the mind, everything given by Paramatman, will begin in controlling those senses which are the adhisthana for the action. So tadanantaram tadantara avasthitah Paramatma swanumati danena tam pravartayati. After that, Paramatma, who is antaryami, makes Jivatman to engage by giving acceptance to his action. Iti jivasya api swabuddhya eva pravritti hetutvam asti. So in Jivatma will also have is the cause of his action out of his free will in this particular respect. And Bhashyakarar gives one example here. Yatha gurutara shila mahiruhadi चलनादि फल प्रवृत्तिषु बहुपुरुष साध्यसु bahunam hetutvam vidhi nisheda bhaktvam cha iti. So he gives one example, that is, just as in the action of moving a heavy boulder or a heavy stone or trees or wooden blocks which are moving, so what is the purpose of moving this? So the purpose is achieving some movement, some place displacement from one place to another, which can possibly be done by the effort of many people, not just one person. The cause can be attributed to many people. Each one severally is responsible for the work, and each one is subjected to certain rules, certain injunctions, and certain prohibitions. In the same way, there are also doership of Jivatman and Paramatma, Ishvara, are both possible together, is what Ramanujacharya gives an example. Now, Vedanta Deshikar has given detailed explanation for this, which I have given only the English explanation. So it's all in Sanskrit, whatever he has given. I have given the English translation here. Paramatma, this is a summary of what we studied just now. It means the free will versus destiny. Paramatma has given body, deha, indriya means sense organ, shakti means the power to do the thing. So each action has three things necessary. One is ichha, which is the desire to do the action. Then jnana, the capability, the knowledge to do the action, and the shakti, the physical effort. For example, if somebody is not able to move the hand, then they cannot do a hand action. So he should give the capability to move the hand or move the leg or move the or see something like that. So Ichha, Jnana and Shakti are all given by Paramatman only, along with the Deha, the body and the sense organs. Differently, they are given differently to different Chetanas, to different people. He does not prevent one from engaging in wrong deeds. For example, a wicked man who wants to murder, he doesn't prevent him from murdering. He permits one to do one as desired. He does nigraha and he punishes the Chetanas for the wrong deeds and does anugraha to those who follow the Shastra. So, any difference in birth, capability, knowledge are all due to differences in prachigana karma, the anadi karma of the jivatmans. So there is no defect. So there are people who ascribe defect to the Paramatman, that Vaishamya and Nirgranya. Vaishamya means partiality, means why was a child born in a poor house and why is another child born in a rich house, or why is one person very cruel, why is a person of different nature. So the Vaishamya and Nirgranya are attributed to Paramatman. So Paramatman has no defect. He is blemishless because he is Nikhila He Pratyanika. It does not have defect of the nature of partiality or cruelty on part of Paramatman. Even though there are differences in action of Jivatman due to differences in Prachina Karma, what the Jivatman has to do is to win over those vasanas, the reminiscent impressions from all the parts birth, by following the Shastraic injunction. And so there's always a scope for Vidhi and Nisheda. Yatha Gurutara, as is told in the case of the huge boulder, where people are moving the boulder in one direction in order to move it from one place to another. If somebody stands and moves the boulder in the opposite direction, he's the opposing force. He has the freedom to do that, but he will be punished. He will be punished if he is not following the injunction. In a single act, when assisted by another doer like Paramatman, how can Jivatman also be the doer? This question is answered with the example of moving a heavy rock or a tree or a stone. Many people are involved. So all are part of work, and hence the cause can be attributed to many people. Each of them is severally responsible for the work, and they are all subject to injunctions and prohibitions. In the same way, it is told as Karta. Jivatman is told as the Karta, means the doer of in the five causes of action. Also, the importance of Shastra is told because it tells about Vidhi and Nisheda. So, Vidhi means order, injunction, and Nisheda means prohibition, some restriction. So, because it tells about this, they are not meaningless. If a doubt is raised, Jivatmans engaging in good and bad deeds is due to Adrishta. Adrishta means what is not seen, means past action, past karma. We cannot see the karma. Suppose I do a karma today, I don't see the result of that karma at all now. So it's called Adrishta. It will give a result sometime later. So in the same way, sometime karma done so many years ago, 10,000 years ago in one of the previous janma, it can cause Adrishta. Actually, there's a small story which is told in the book by Edgar Casey. There's a person called Edgar Casey who was there in the US about in the turn of the last century, about 100 years ago. So he used to get into a trance, and whoever comes in front of him, he used to diagnose what the problem was. One day, one lady comes to him, a young girl, about 20-25-year-old girl comes, and she says that she has a shoulder pain since birth, and she doesn't know. She has gone to all the doctors of that age, and she is not able to cure the shoulder pain. Then Edgar Casey goes into a trance and sees what she was. He says that she was in the court of Nero. Nero was a king in Rome, is what is told. So that Nero was a person who used to have very cruel treatment of the criminals. So he used to put the criminal and a very hungry lion in the same cage, and when the lion used to eat that, tear apart that person and eat that person, the king Nero used to enjoy, sit and laugh and enjoy. So when that person was put in the cage of the lion, when that person's shoulder was being torn by that lion, this girl was sitting as the queen or one of the princesses of Nero, and she was laughing at that time, 3,000 years ago. And that's why she had to repay that power, repay that thing in this current birth, which happened 100 years ago, is what Edgar Casey, if you read the book, you can find out. So Adrishta is that kind of thing which is not seen, but it happens. So where is the need for Shastra? If one question comes, if Shastra is only to be followed, one has to freedom to do it. What is the role of Adrishta? Answer is both have a role to play. Influenced by previous Adrishta, Jivatman who has studied the Shastra tries to control the mind and take the right decisions and engage in right acts. Many times Adrishta can take an upper hand. Over a period of time, Jivatman can control the influence of Vasana and develop slowly new Shastra Vasana and move in the right direction. So this is what the Jivatman has to do. So Jivatman also has got a doership, is what is told. So in the final conclusion, there are two parts identified by Swami Deshikan. In respect to general upakara of the nature of giving a body to a Jivatman, sense organs and special powers given by Paramatman, which have special powers given by Paramatman, Jivatman himself being supported. See, for example, if you take a wicked man engaged in a wicked action, Paramatma can kill him immediately, but Paramatma does not kill. So Paramatma is supporting the wicked man in terms of protecting his life while he is doing that wicked activity. So even that is being done by Paramatman only. Giving the powers, the dependence on Jivatman, on Paramatman is told. In the next part, shows the freedom of the Jivatman. Even here, Paramatma's Upakara is indicated as Tad Antar Avasthitah Paramatma Swa Anumodit Anumati Danena. He gives the consent to do the things. So he has put the efforts. So Paramatma allows him to do that particular activity. So this is the brief description about free will versus destiny as told in the 18th chapter, the shlokas 14 and 15. Detailed discussion on this has been done by Sri Krishna Kashyap in one of the lectures in the Gita series which he is doing. So I think in the lecture 21 and 22 he has talked about the doership, so which you can listen. So this brings me to the end of the session. Ishvare kartata buddhi sattvapadeyata time swakarma parinamascha shastra sarartha uchyate. So with this we come to the end of the session. If there are any questions, if I can answer, then I'll answer. Otherwise we'll go to chanting.
Thank you. Long back, you said something about it's similar, the Lord allows the people to do bad things. I think you had an example about a bank robber or something. I don't remember now. Um, he's the guard is asking. The guard is actually allowing this to happen. And eventually, I think he punishes them also. So
Correct. He
I think
punishes
that's what.
them. He punishes them. He does nigraha. He controls. He. So that's the reason for some births coming. Some people are born as animals. There are 4 types of beings, right? That is the Sura, Nara, Tiriyak, Thavara. Means the demigod, then the human being, then the animal, then the like plants and shrubs. So that's the thing. So we'll close. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu Loka Samasta Sukino Bhavanto Samasta Salmangalani Bhavanto Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha.